It's very rare for people to know exactly what they want to do in life at a young age, so most people are left clueless searching in a never ending cycle as to what they want to do in life. Often we're overwhelmed with all the career paths out there. External opinions from family and society make us rush into decisions as well. Social media most of the time does not help either because you're seeing all these rich young millionaires, which then triggers a feeling of guilt or feeling useless, confused, lost. It's important to just take a step back for a second. After graduation or leading up to graduation, most of the people, I'd say 85% of the population, they're really clueless about what they want to do in life. You can be a lawyer, you can be a dentist, you can be whatever, right? You can be an astronaut, but it doesn't really resonate with the heart. And passion is quite an important thing. You have to be passionate about something. What I mean by taking a step back is after graduation, or even during university, during school, you might even want to take a gap year. What happened with me, I finished my A levels, which in England is basically college or whatever before you go off to university, and I got my A levels, and I knew I did not want to go to school. I didn't know what I wanted to do during that time, but I just knew I wanted to be free. And I knew that I didn't want to go down this cliche route of, just going into the corporate life, which obviously, ironically, I found myself in now, but it's all part of the plan. But I knew I didn't want to go down that path. I didn't want to waste another 3 years. I chose investment banking. I went to do investment banking at university. That was heavily influenced also by trying to make my parents proud. But I knew deep down within I wasn't going to last in university. Not because I wasn't smart enough. I'm a pretty smart chap. I knew that I was wasting another 3 years of my life because I realistically was not going to be an investment banker after university. Point is, reason being, first of all, 4% of investment banking graduates actually work at a firm. I didn't want to work fucking 60, 70-hour weeks to get a decent salary but waste, just don't have time for your own life. And I knew that there was a land of opportunity out there for me to make money quicker and more efficiently whilst working for myself. So what I did is I went to university for about 1 to 2 months just to feel it out, just to test it out, and I absolutely despised it. It was a ghost town. It was during COVID times as well. The campus was completely empty. When we were going in, we were social distancing, everyone had masks. It felt like this dystopian, eerie, gloomy future, and it didn't resonate with me. I dropped out. Well, I took a gap year, but I knew I was going to drop out. I took a gap year just so it was easier for my parents and me to digest. Now, expectedly, my parents went on a frenzy. They went on an absolute frenzy. Me being from an Asian background, they went crazy. My father especially. My mother said, listen, it's your life. Do something with it. You've dropped out of uni, fair enough, but do something with your life. At least get a job or something. But my father, obviously coming from a background of poverty and no education, lack of resources, and they migrated to the UK, they feel like, which I can completely understand, they feel like education is the number one thing on this planet. And it absolutely can be. I really do love education. I love learning and knowledge. I believe learning and knowledge is the most powerful thing on this planet. If you are someone that is knowledgeable and then execute with a plan according to that knowledge, you will be a very powerful person. However, I really do not like the traditional school system now. And there was a graph or like a couple pictures on a carousel on a slideshow showing the evolution of technology and showing the evolution of cars from the 80s, from the 90s, and you can see it's come a really long way. But then there was a slideshow showing the evolution of the school and the educational system and the traditional classroom, and it never changed. It never changed because they want people to always be the same, always working for others, always working for the rich. So I took a gap year and I didn't know what the fuck to do. I got myself a part-time job and I did not know what to do, and I realized there isn't much to do apart from get a job, which you was going to do after the 3, 4, 5 years of university anyway, or work for yourself. Those are really the two options. You either get a job or you work for yourself. Unless you're the fucking anomaly and you've inherited an insane amount of wealth from rich parents or rich lineage. But I guarantee none of us listening to this video, or even me, comes from a background like that, so we don't have to worry about that. But it was very important for me. I found out a lot about myself within that gap year. First of all, it reinforced my mentality of, yeah, I'm definitely not going back to school. Secondly, I understood that I disagree with the educational system, to the traditional educational system, and I understood about myself that I am someone that likes to lead. I like to be the shot caller, and I want to work for myself and have a team under me. That was some of the things that I learned about myself. In addition to that, I knew that there was insane amounts of money to be made, because during that gap year I was researching intensely about people, about life, and about career options, and I found out quite quickly you don't even need a degree to do a lot of decent jobs in life. So instead of going to university doing especially if you don't want to be something, like if you're going to university and you're trying to be a lawyer and you don't even want to be a lawyer, you are completely wasting your life. If you know what you want to do in life, if you want to be a lawyer, then go to university and become a lawyer, absolutely. But if you do not know what you want to do and you're going to university for no reason, that is a pretty stupid mistake to make, because you are wasting 3 to 4, 5 crucial years of your life where you can actually just take a step back and figure yourself out. And I wanted to touch up on a really important point. Up until the years of about 18 years old, we've never been able to call our own shots. Up until 18, we've always been forced into education by law, and you're intensely working towards grades, and you can never really think for yourself. So when you do first get that freedom, when you graduate or before graduation, if you don't want to go to university, it's important to just sit on it, just relax and sit on it. Smooth is fast, smooth is efficient. You don't have to rush into things. You can go at your own pace smoothly, and you will see that life kind of unravels in front of you, and you will research about real life, not just about grades and school and education, but real life. How much do I need to survive? What is tax? Where might be a better option for me to live? Where might be a better option for me to move to give me more opportunity? These are things that you never really thought of during your time in school, because you were too indulged in or too hopelessly consumed by getting good grades so you can pass. So once you get to that stage where you can actually have a bit of freedom and just think for a second, I really do advise, if you're about to go to university or college and you don't know what you want to do, take a gap year. There is absolutely nothing wrong with taking a gap year. The reason being is I took a gap year and I went into part-time work, then into full-time work. For about 2 to 3 years, I was working in a full-time job and I was collecting a tremendous amount of experience in actual workplaces. My people skills, problem solving skills, critical skills, social skills, whatever you want to name it, right? My friends that were in the same year group as me that went to university doing computer science degrees, business degrees, majors, whatever, they graduated from university and they are still doing part-time delivery jobs. And I just want that to sink in for a minute, because they've been graduated for a year and a half with degrees. They're still doing part-time delivery jobs, because real life doesn't look at your grades. Real life looks at you, your mindset, what you're going to make of yourself. And I think me dropping out of university chucked me in the deep end, and I floated, and I saw that about myself. Now, in life, when you don't know what you want to do, just like everything else, you need to figure it out. And figuring it out means, once again, taking a step back and looking at your life. What do you really want? And you need to replay that question in your mind over and over and over again until you start figuring yourself out. For me personally, when I left university, I knew life was a fucking lie. Life was a facade. People that were rolling up in the nicest cars and having the nicest houses, maybe they did go to university, but they all worked for themselves. So why did I need to go to university to work for myself? It didn't make any sense. Why do I need a degree to just start an online business or a physical business? You don't need it. And the school system strips away all of the self-belief and creativity and vision that a person has. It strips you down and makes you tunnel visioned into one specific road and path, and that is working for someone. But if you can step out of that, if you can change that mindset and start looking at life in a different light, you can quickly figure out that there's a lot of opportunity for you out there. And unfortunately, a lot of us come from poor backgrounds. A lot of come from deprived opportunity. So our parents will push us into this, this laid out path for us where we go and work for a company or something, and it's not their fault. But you don't know what you don't know, and you have to go figure it out. You have to take a step back and go on YouTube and do your research, do your due diligence of research and writing down, journaling, what is it that I want? I'm tired of speaking to women. I don't really care about women. I don't care about partying. I don't want to work for someone else. So then even crossing those off the lists quickly makes you realize, okay, I might need to work for myself here, where I can travel the world and have my own freedom. And it's not that hard to find your own path in life. It's really not. And it can seem overwhelming, absolutely. And it was overwhelming for me. But you need to look around you as well. There might be some other people around you that have also dropped out. You can go on YouTube and find out and look at some successful people and look at their paths. What did they do? That gives you some ideas as well. Like I said before in the video, knowledge and research is the most powerful thing on this planet. Someone that sits down and just researches and just, uses the Google or ChatGPT search engine and just talks to it, has a conversation with it, explains its life to it. Now we're really lucky for ChatGPT to come out, because ChatGPT can literally be your one-on-one mentor at this point to lay out a path for you, as long as you're giving it good prompt. But give ChatGPT the context about your life. Tell it you don't want to focus on women. Tell it you don't want to work for someone else. And ChatGPT will quickly spit back out some good options for you. Don't count it out. You often need to listen to your mind and your body. My mind, I'm so happy and proud of myself that I listened to my mind and my body years back when I was young. I'm so happy. And I know I'm a brave man. I know I'm a man with guts, because when everyone around me was going to university and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I had all that pressure on me with family, I still dropped out because I listened to my body and my mind. I listened to myself. Your body and your mind tells you things. If you're unhealthy, your body and your mind will tell you, so you know you need to work on it. But a lot of us are not self-aware. We're not emotionally intelligent. We don't know that our body yearns for challenge and yearns for projects and self-improvement. We don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You haven't had a mentor or someone to teach you in life. Listen to your mind and your body. I can make a part 2 on this video, just let me know, guys.